you have reason to enter into the worship experience in such a way where you acknowledge the majesty and love of God. Literally, you have a job to do. Let me see if I can break it down this way. When my father gave one of his first sermons in Troup County, Georgia, in LaGrange, Georgia, that is next to nothing, near nowhere, near the border of something that you don't even know about. And so my father was about to give his initial sermon at the Mount Olivet Baptist Church in LaGrange. And so they didn't have AC back in the day. And it was in summertime, and they had all the windows open and everything. And so my father had all of his notes. He's at the pulpit, and it was kind of breezy that day. And so while he's about to get up to give his presentation, he's already gotten about 5 minutes into his sermon. All of a sudden, a breeze comes by. All of his notes and sermon, just some go into the deacon's lap and some go in the back. He doesn't have anything. And so my dad is trying to, keep things going. He's just saying, Jesus, ain't he all right? Jesus, ain't he all right? Ain't he? Just all right. Now, everybody, they love Pop. He's about 19 at the time. They loved him. But, ain't nobody saying amen. They were just, just shaking their heads saying, po baby. The sermon went out the window. But there was a woman who was on the front row who just kept on saying, preach it! All he's saying is, Jesus, ain't he all right? He's terrified. 19. Preach it, tell it. That's right, baby. Yeah, tell it. And people start looking at her. He has no sermon, Dwayne. It makes absolutely no sense. And she's saying, preach it, yes. I can see it, yes. And he's thinking, see what? I don't have a sermon. I don't have anything to say. So afterwards, he lined up. He was kind of nervous to line up because, when you flunk and, people love you, they just come by and pat you and say, it's all right, baby. We still love you, baby. And so everybody's patting him and just saying, we love you. And so it's near the end of the line. There's that sister who was shouting the whole time. And so he pulls her aside and says, Mother, you were shouting the whole time I was preaching. She said, uh-huh. He said, but didn't you see my sermon literally go out the window? Oh, yeah, I saw that. But you were still shouting. Uh-huh. Said, but didn't you see that I wasn't making any sense? Oh, yeah. You weren't making no sense whatsoever, baby. That was a terrible message. But baby, I don't understand. Mother, I don't understand why you were shouting. I didn't have a message. Why were you praising and I wasn't making any sense? And she said to my father, just because you didn't do your job doesn't mean I'm not going to do mine. I'm here to let you know you got a job to do. Whether the choir sings, whether the preacher preaches, you've got a job to do. Is there anybody here? Are you ready to get on your job? Because God has done so much for us that we are called, no matter what is going on, to enter into his presence. And this thug is trying to get Jesus' attention, but watch what Jesus does. Jesus is dying, but he's still ministering. Jesus is being lynched, but he's still liberating. You see, he's in the midst of this, and people are trying to label him and say you need to stop here, but his pain could not stop his purpose. Just because he was bleeding doesn't mean he had to stop blessing. Because just because you've got wounds, as Bishop Vashti said, doesn't mean that you have to stop your work. And Jesus is still dispensing his blessings, even though he is bleeding, even though he is on the cross. And you see, those who were trying to crucify him made a mistake. 2 major mistakes. Because you see, when they tried to crucify him, they had to start on the ground, as I mentioned before, and nail him down here and then lift him up. And whenever you lift someone up, you got to remember Jesus was above his enemies. His enemies were down here. calling and talking about him up there. But he was still giving blessings from up here to people down there. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Trinity, I know it may seem like we are being crucified at times, but I'm here to let you know they are just lifting us up to give us an opportunity to speak love into this situation. Because no matter what our condition is, it does not change our value with God. All right, okay, all right, let me see if I can explain this. I appreciate Reverend Rowe for helping me out. Okay, she gave me some money. I said, I need some money here just to do this. Because Reverend Bill showed me this. This is $100 right here. It's a $100 bill. Y'all see, it's real. It's not Monopoly. It's a real $100 bill. Now, this $100 bill, if I do this to it and throw it on the ground, it's still $100. If I do like this, it's still $100. If I put it in my pocket all rolled up, it's still $100. Whether it's wrinkled or folded, it still has the same value. No matter what it's been through, it still has the same value. No matter what we've been through, we still have the same value. God imprinted something on us. Nobody can take it away. We still have value. But I gotta let you know something. If you ever go to the bank and you see a conversation between a dollar bill and a $100 bill, the dollar bill will say, I'm just like you. I got the same paper. I got the same ink. I'm just like you. But the $100 will say, I've got a different value than you have. And let me let you know, you will never see a $100 bill at the bank trying to jump up in the dollar bill drawer. Because $100 like to hang out with other $100 bills. But $1 bills will try to hang out with a $100 bill. And I'm here to let you know, sisters, if God gave you value, what you doing hanging out with a dollar brother in the first place? You got value. I don't care if he has permanent marker and put some zeros next to the one. He's still worth $1. You have value. You need to know you are beautifully and wonderfully made in God. We as a church, we have value. We have value. The Creator already assigned value to us. So no matter what they do, we still got the value. But you know what? You know, sometimes it's kind of interesting because dollars go up and down in value depending on what the market is like. If there's a high demand for that particular dollar, it may be 90 cents one day, but it may be $1.14 the next day. And I just want to let you know, we're in high demand. Our stock just went up. We're about to change the New York Stock Exchange. Our value went up. Not value for the New York Stock Exchange. God has given us an opportunity to share to the world the love of Jesus Christ because he placed value on us. He placed value on us. The Creator assigned the value, and nobody can change the fact. There's no eraser you can take and say you ain't worth it anymore. Even if I cut just a bite off of this $100, just a bite, it's still worth